I'm doing the LED mods for the front facing buttons. So the X, square, circle, and triangle buttons are over here. And I'm also trying to do the share button. Now, this is the 3rd generation controller, so it's actually kind of harder. But I'm starting to get it. So what you want to do is pretty much what I showed you guys in the first video that I did about a month ago, and I'll put that in the link in the description. But I mean, I'll show you how to do this side, and I'll show you how to do the share buttons also. So with this share button right here, what I did, I'll show you over here. I basically cut this area out right here, and drilled a little hole through here, through the other side. And as you can see right here, it's kind of empty. So now this LED is going to shine through this whole black part, this whole black piece over here, through this hole, and then it'll come out. And when you're putting the LEDs through here, you want to make sure that this ribbon, it doesn't affect it. So you want to make these LEDs as flush as you can. And as you can see right here, I actually cut some of the plastic out on the ribbon so it will fit better. So yeah, that's what you want to do for this. Alright, so starting with this side, what you want to do, you obviously want to take this ribbon part off. So there should be like little clips that hold this plastic piece. There's like one up here, here, and here. So you just kind of want to push these down, and once you push them down, it'll just lift up, and then you just feed it through this area, which is right here. Once you get it unclipped on the other side, you just want to feed it through this area right here, and then there's going to be a pin little thing on this side, which is right here, and you just make that pin come up, and then this will detach. And actually first you kind of want to hold it down and then get the area where you know the LED is going to be, which is inside the circle. And once you mark that area, just flip this up and it will clip and stay up there for you. And once you get that area marked, you want to take your drill and just drill right through the area. But you want to make sure you don't mess with any of the stuff that's going to hold the ribbon together, or even holds the circuit board to this plastic part. Okay, so since this is the 3rd generation controller, right in the middle of the screen right now, there's like this little rectangle area, and on top of that there is that little black dot. Here, I'll show you. This is where you're going to be drilling through. It's going to be in this area right around. So when you drill through this, and I'm just using a regular screw gun with like the smallest screw bit I can find. And once you screw through that, you just want to feed an LED through it like what I did on this side. So as of right now, obviously an LED is not going to fit through this hole. So we're going to have to make it bigger. We have to go to the right some more, so we don't interfere with this area, which is where the ribbon, this stuff, will clip to. And yeah, and then once you do that, the LEDs that I'm using are these the regular LEDs. I'm kind of getting sick of using SMDs, the little mini ones. They blow out really easy and everything. But these are red. They're rated for like 2 volts or something like that, but the battery uses, I think it's 3.65 volts. So I got these resistors. The resistors are 100 ohm resistors to work with these LEDs. I got these ones from Radio Shack. And yeah, I'll put a link in the description for these LEDs, so you guys can find them if you want to use these ones. If you get different colors like blue, they're rated for 3.65 volts, so you won't even need a resistor. So yeah, let's make we're gonna have to make this hole probably about 2 times bigger. And what I do to these LEDs, I get my Dremel. I'll show you guys, and then I'll pretty much take as much of the clear acrylic around the LED itself as I can, so I can make it as small as I can, almost as big as a regular SMD, and it lasts way longer too. So as you can see, I made the hole a lot bigger than what it used to be, and that's as big as I'm gonna make it because I don't want to interfere with the ribbon too much. And so now I'm gonna take this LED and I'm gonna try to make it as small as I can with the Dremel. So I'm just using this regular Dremel right here. It has different speeds. Make sure you wear your safety glasses just in case, because sometimes this Dremel piece, it like explodes and goes everywhere. And so you basically just want to chop off the whole top of the LED with as much space as you can, and then kind of do the sides as much as you can. And there's like the little rim that's around the LED too. You can get rid of that, and it will save you from a lot of trouble that you can run into. And once you do that, your life will be a lot easier when you're trying to do this. So this is how small I made the LED. As you can see, it pretty much went right up to where the diode is that's in there, pretty much. So it went from this size to that size. So now this LED is going to pretty much sit right inside here, and then you're going to want to hold it down and then just glue it right in. And you want to make sure that it doesn't stick through all the way. It has to be flush with this black part, so it doesn't mess with the ribbon cable right here. Just like what I did on this side. It's perfectly flush. You don't even feel it. Alright, so as you can see, here's the LED. It's fully glued in on the other side, and it's not sticking all the way through where it'll interfere with everything. As you can see, it's out of the way from all that stuff over there. And yeah, so now let's go to the share button, which will be in this area right here. What we're gonna do, we're gonna drill a hole through this black part, through right here, right where the tweezers are that I'm pointing to. And then once we do that, we're gonna knock this little plastic bridge out of there with the drill, or even use the X-Acto knife to cut it out. And once you do that, you're gonna come out with this on this side. You're gonna have the same exact thing. Now it's gonna be a little harder to route this LED on this side because the circuit board will get in the way. So I'm just gonna install it for now and see how it goes. Now this is what I'm left with. As you can see, I eliminated all that plastic out of there. And on this side, once you do it, you want to take your X-Acto knife and kind of scoop around the edges and make sure it gets completely flush. It'll get flush. The way you know, you just rub your finger over it, and then you'll know it's perfect. Like as you can see from the side on that hole, there's like absolutely nothing sticking out. Same thing goes for on this side. And the reason why I have two LEDs right here and right here is because I didn't think it looked bright enough when it shines through this area. But for this side, the directional buttons, they're like, there's the pin. Here, I'll show you. The pin, it's clear all the way through, so it like absorb all the light through it and then disperse it through the sides. so it'll be nice and perfect. And yeah, so now you just want to do the same thing, make another LED. You want to make it as small as you can, and then you'll be all set with the share button. Alright, so this is what I'm left with. As you can see, the LED is fully in there on both sides, and there's absolutely nothing sticking through, so it won't interfere with anything. And I tested the LED, and it actually lights up the whole button pretty good. And the way to make sure that the LED prongs don't get in the way of the circuit board, you just run it to the right along. There's this little plastic area that's on the other side of this glue, and you just run it along that, and then you won't run into any problems. Now this is the 3rd generation Ps4 controller, so it's going to be different depending on what generation controller you have. And I'm actually going to make another video of this with I believe it's the 2nd generation controller, and the 2nd generation one is pretty much the same as the 1st, so it should be pretty easy. So if you need help with that controller, just stay tuned to my channel. And now the next part is to wire all of them up. Okay, so I have everything all set up. I did all my wiring so that nothing will get in the way, and I obviously put everything in parallel. So over here I have 3 LEDs. I didn't think it was going to be bright enough, but it actually came out pretty good, so I'm happy with that side. This side I put in parallel also. So what you want to do to put it in parallel, you just want to take each LED that you put inside, and you put all the positives to the positives and all the negatives to the negatives. And once you do that, you run the resistor off the positive side, and you just leave the negative side alone. As you can see right there, resistor on the right, the negative is on the left. And over here, the resistor is on the left, the negative is on the right. And here's the front. And now for the next part, I'm actually gonna do the analog sticks. So to do the analog sticks, we're gonna take some LEDs and pretty much glue them to the circuit board itself. Let me take this analog off. We're gonna glue them to the analog itself around. We're gonna put one here and one here, so I can really make the analog sticks glow. Most people only put one, or we can put either one here or one here. I just stagger it, but most people only put one. I think that looks kind of stupid because it only lights up one side. And same thing for this side, one here and one here. And once I show you guys how to do that, I'm gonna do a separate video on the remap board. And since this is the 3rd generation one, we're gonna have to cut this one out, and we're only gonna use these 2. And this spot is gonna get cut out. Maybe once I cut it out, I could probably use it for something else. I don't know. So yeah, just stay tuned for that. Alright, so in order to do the analog LED mod, what you're going to want to do is, you're going to want to put 2 LEDs in parallel on both sides. And once you do that, you just run one side with a resistor and leave the side empty for now. And then you're going to connect all 4 of these together basically in parallel. And I tested to see if they were bright enough, and so far, yeah. So it looks good right now. And when you're doing this, you want to make sure that the wires that you're using to go around the whole analog stick, like what I did here, isn't touching the circuit board. And to do that, all I did was wrap it around with the LED wires, and I kind of crimped it like around the, so it's right on top. See how there's like a gap right there? And then I squeezed the wires around it, and it stayed up for long enough for me to glue it. And yeah, so I glued it in place, and now these LEDs will glow up the analog sticks. And then once it's good, you just put on your clear analog sticks.